if you don't know who Mary Robinette Kowal is, she's one of those like serial clout goblins at Tor Books who has built her entire reputation based off politics, finagling, feminism, and not her actual talent in writing whatsoever. Now, despite this, of course, she's been nominated and won all the awards all the time. You hear this time and time again. All these people are propped up. These awards are rigged by Tor Books in order to give them to these authors so they sound like they have credentials. And what happens is they produce these books that really nobody wants. This is another case, just like N.K. Jemisin, who's like the hailed black author. Yes, most important writer in science fiction history, probably. What I'm hearing from inside sources is that her last novel only sold 20,000 copies. Now, me as an independent guy who's just doing things myself, who gets zero attention from the media, zero awards from these people, and I'm banned from everything. So I've got 2 novels that have sold more than 20,000 copies. If that's the best they've got, they're not doing well. It's all a fake clout structure game, and that's exactly what's going on here with Mary Robinette Kowal. She's got a new Lady Astronaut novel, and these books cost a lot. You don't understand. The Tor Books is sending her on a tour across the country, and I don't think it sells anywhere near the amount to do this. She's actually co-headlining a couple events with John Scalzi for them as well. Maybe they just combine them at the same time. Very interesting stuff right here. And she's got a new novel out called The Martian Contingency, which, of course, the entire plotline of this is said to advocate for child murder. And so this is a woke activist who's always been absolutely crazy. We'll get into it in just a moment. Gosh, sad stuff here in the industry. But you don't have to buy this, guys. You don't have to buy the Lady Astronaut series because I got an alternative for you. If you don't want this quirky, strong female lead in this like fake science fiction book that she's got, where apparently it's really degenerate, we have a new fantasy book out ourselves. So this is The Demon's Eye. I wrote this to be classic fantasy in the way that they used to publish back before all the weird feminists took over. This has a strong male lead. He is a reluctant hero. He's taken a vow of nonviolence, and yet at the same time, a great evil is awakened, and they are taking over this land, and he has to do something about it. He's the only one who can. He's part of an ancient prophecy, and it goes absolutely wild through this. So we wrote this. It's a lot of fun, and you're going to enjoy it today. I had my best pre-order sales ever, so thank you so much, everybody who pre-ordered before this came out. It's in the description below, and please support our epic fiction today. It's only $4.99, and that's great, and so you guys can have fun reading this weekend for a low cost, and I appreciate everybody who supports. It really does a lot building independent works here, and we spread through word of mouth of people like you, so please definitely share this out with your friends as well. Thank you so much. No marketing department here, no Tor Books, nothing, just an independent book, which is a lot of fun. And blacklisted from the industry, which is always awesome fun. So Mary Robinette Kowal, my friends. This person was brought into Brandon Sanderson's Writing Excuses podcast as a co-host back in the day. That's when Brandon Sanderson's whole deal just went way off the rails. He had a beautiful podcast. I listen to it all the time, 15 minutes long because you're in a hurry and we're not that smart, if you remember that. And it had Dan Wells and Howard, gosh, the guy's name, the Schlock Mercenary guy, his name's blanking right now. I'm sure you have it in the description below to correct me. Thank you. But those guys did a great job, and it really was helpful for a new writer to figure out how to write books. It really was. So I kudos to them on that. Eventually, they brought in Mary Robinette Kowal because they needed diversity, and pretty soon they changed things. It was all about women in the industry and minorities in the industry, and she would start strong-arming them. I think she was really brought in as a handler for Brandon Sanderson as he was getting big, somebody to like force him to be politically in the way that is aligned with Tor Books and the rest of the evil industry, because he started to change around that time. We've covered his descent into promoting LGBTQ hedonism and forsaking his own Mormon religion over the last few years. Because of that, it all really started with Mary Robinette Kowal's influence here. So she did this. She also she was part of that. She built through that. She was an audiobook narrator. She has a nice voice. And she then parlayed that into writing these Lady Astronaut novels, which kept getting award after award after award. Now, these are an alternate history of a past in the space program where like there was the first Lady Astronaut sort of fiction and she has to deal with all the misogynistic men. Yeah, it's painful. It really is. And this new one, well, she's going to Mars as the first lady going to Mars. Yay! So that's how silly and stupid these are. They're basically romance novels, from what I understand. And it's just about her, and there's a lot of like graphic sex scenes and things like that, because it's just it's chick lit but in space, and they pretend it's science fiction, right? And that's mainly the onus of what everything's been about. And of course, she deals with racism, all the things, right? It's been very, very cringy. I don't know anybody who actually legitimately likes this. So, like many, she's been a part of this whole deal. When the Sad Puppies came out with the Hugo Awards back in the day, she started lambasting Larry Correia, Brad Torgerson, Fox Day, trying to go after them, call them every name under the sun in order to work on her clout. She eventually got to take over Worldcon herself. And this is how tied into these people. They'll lecture you about being evil, racist, Nazi, homophobe, all the things. And at the same time, when she took over Worldcon, Raytheon, the weapons manufacturer, the ones that drop bombs on innocent Iraqi kids, sponsored Worldcon, came in with this. So they're all tied together. All these people in government, all this stuff. I'm sure she's propped up by USAID and all this crap, because there's no way these books make money. There's no way they sell. And a big secret of the mainstream publishing industry is libraries, and the Library Association, the American Library Association, buys thousands of these books and spreads them across libraries across the country, and that props up their sales. If they didn't have that, they don't have a lot of like natural readership. And so that's what happens a lot of the time here with these people. So you can see in 2024, when the Trump election happened, I actually wrote an article on this as well. She went really nutty and came out with this. Here's her new haircut. How exciting. And she said, I got a haircut while I was in Paris, told the hairdresser I was upset about the election news, and he had permission to do whatever he wanted, like a breakup haircut. Now I look like a French revolutionary. If you remember, the French Revolution was all about, mass murdering Christians and things like that. So kind of a mask-off moment for her. Well, her new book's a mask-off moment as well. I learned about this Martian Contingency. What's interesting here, you can see that she's got 89 ratings already online. So she's got a contingency from Tor Books. You could see on Amazon there's only 12 ratings, right? So Goodreads, you can just leave ratings a lot easier, and there's a whole cabal, probably Tor Books employees or people paid by Tor Books to do so, to give it a lot of ratings up front to make it look like there's a lot of action on the book. This is something that the mainstream publishing industry does a lot. I don't have that apparatus. That's why. So if you did read The Demon's Eye already, I'd appreciate a rating and review, because it's all word of mouth here. We don't have this background. And you can see when you get into the Goodreads ratings for the Martian Contingency, the Martian, you can see exactly how it works. There's all these ladies who said, I got a free book. It hasn't been released yet. So this one didn't even read it. No idea why there are 1-star reviews, leaving a 5-star review. So this person left a 5-star review in June last year, even though she clearly didn't read it. And that's pretty interesting right there. And you'll see ARC. So if you look up ARC, dang it. It's March, sorry. A lot of them will say, here it is, ebook ARC of this book from NetGalley, which means they got it for free from Tor Books. So a lot of these people get on review lists, and they get like access to this. ARC received from NetGalley and Tor. So these are people, and this was back in December before it came out. Thanks to NetGalley and Tor for an advanced copy. It's all, you're on this approved list of reviewers to shill for these books, basically. Now, one guy, he's not that good of a shill, but he was kind of shilling his review. Wow, where's my book page here? Here we go. Jonathan Cohen. I actually like this guy's channel. So Jonathan Cohen's a good YouTube review. He's got almost 10,000 subscribers. So go give him a subscribe and tell him I sent you. But he did a review of this this week, and very polite about it. And not as polite as I'd be about it. But he talked about how there's a abortion storyline that's like the second half of the book. And he says a major portion of the book, particularly the second half of the book, is dedicated to a plot point about a lady astronaut getting pregnant, trying to determine whether to have an abortion or keep the baby. This plot point might have worked if handled differently. Unfortunately, not only does the character make the obviously wrong choice in the book, which is kill the baby, but the argument is heavily weighed in one direction, and there's no solid counter argument or major consequence for the character's actions. So it's a big, hey women, it's good to kill your babies kind of plot that's thrown into this. He elaborated in his video that she really just like presented this like really angry tone, like pro-life, anti-life, I guess it's anti-life argument because of all the political stuff going on right now, and that's what she's always done. She back in the day, she was always like rabble-rousing, saying, they're going to take away your women's rights, and that's kind of what makes her a popular author in the Tor circles here. So stay away from this book. It's evil, and of course, it's promoting just degeneracy and evil all the time. It's a bunch of sex scenes in a romance novel labeled science fiction that leads to just baby murder, child murder, and that's what abortion is. And so this should be discouraged from women, and she's out there trying to manipulate women. I mean, this is what the entire cultural apparatus is all about. They don't care whether it sells. They don't care about that. They're going to throw it into libraries, try to just like slowly influence culture, and that is the agenda that's all the way around this stuff. Very, very sad. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my Demon's Eye book, guys. This is awesome stuff. Clean fantasy. You're going to love it. It's in the description below. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back soon.